Hey everybody, we wanted to once again thank everybody for coming to the running seminar at North Shore Fit last weekend. We wanted to take a minute to kind of go through all the exercises once again that we had mentioned during the seminar. So the first two were our kind of mobility and stretching exercises for the calf. The first one, of course, is your simple kind of wall stretch, right? If I'm going to stretch my right calf. Thing with the wall stretch is you want to make sure that you're keeping your knee perfectly straight and that you're keeping your heel on the ground. And then I kind of come up nice and tall, and then I just kind of lean into the wall, and I should feel that stretch all through the back of my calf. You might feel it kind of high right behind the knee or kind of more into the mid calf. But the big thing is just making sure I'm keeping that knee straight and I'm kind of leaning against the wall. For this, again, you want to do a 30 to 60 second hold, and we want to make sure that we're doing these static stretches, these long holds, after a run or after a workout when we're already warmed up. The other one is the ankle mobilization. If we remember, if we had tight ankle joints, we want to do our ankle mobilization. So the way we set this up is I'm going to go a little elevated here. On my elevated surface, I have my kind of thicker power band anchored to a immovable surface here. And the big thing with the ankle mobilization is just making sure that we have the band correctly placed. And we want to make sure that the band is below this ankle joint, almost kind of below that malleolus there. And then we're going to kind of bring it forward. We're going to give the band some tension. Okay. And then we're going to push into that mobilization there. Okay, and just kind of come in and out. You can get more tension if you want, if you feel like you don't have enough, right? Kind of replace your band if you feel like it starts to scoot up on you. And then we're just gonna press into that mobilization, try to get our knee as far forward as we can, okay? Okay, so our next set of exercises have more to do with the foot control. We talked about doing some toe yoga, and all this is making sure that we can independently move our big toe from our little toes, okay? And we can practice this starting kind of just seated here with not a lot of weight on my feet, and just see if you can lift up your big toe while pressing your little toes into the ground, just like this, okay? And then see if you can alternate by pushing your big toe down and lifting the little toes up. Okay, and then see if you can kind of go back and forth and switch those up by alternating. See how fast you can do it. I can't do this very fast, but see if you can independently control that, okay? So the next thing is to see if we can independently control our arches with an arch lift. So what that looks like is we're gonna try to lift the arch without having my whole foot come off the ground like that, okay? So the motion is here, and I'm just trying to lift and press the arch down. And you're gonna see some rotation happening here as we try to lift the arch up and then press it down, okay? That's an arch lift, and that also helps us establish some motor control of our feet, right? That motion right there, okay? It's good to start these in sitting when we don't have a lot of weight through the feet, but then you eventually want to graduate to standing and practice these exercises in full weight bearing, right? Okay, and so for our bonus material, we're gonna go over a little bit of a dynamic warm-up. This is something that we can do before every run that will help us with our reactive stability, help warm us up, and then help with some of our plyometrics as well, okay? So we'll start with a double pogo hop. The big thing with the double pogo hop and the single pogo hop is that we're not staying up on our toes like this. We're letting our feet come all the way to the ground, letting my heels come to the ground, still with a soft landing, right? And then I'm gonna move across, right? So I wanna pick about 10 to 15 yards across for my double pogo hop, okay? Do that a few times, and then we're gonna go into our single pogo hop. Same thing, letting the heel come down, right? Letting the heel come all the way down to the floor as I move across, okay? So double pogo hop, single pogo hop. The next one is gonna be a little bit of a lunge with a twist, right? So I've got a little 10-pound plate here. You can do this with a weight, without a weight, right? And you're gonna come into your lunge stance, and it's a alternating jump lunge, but with a twist, right? So we're gonna start in this twisted position, and then we're gonna switch. Okay, so you wanna do maybe about 10 of those or so. Those are pretty tiring, so might get a little winded with those, feeling warmed up, right? And and then the last one is gonna be our overhead, where we're gonna be here, and it's gonna be like an overhead kind of side jump lunge thing, where we start here on one foot, okay? And then we push over like that, right? We wanna stay on the one foot, and then come to the other side, recharge, right? This one's pretty tough, okay? So we're gonna do about 10 of those or so, and then you should be feeling ready to go, ready to run and warmed up. All right, so that covers it for all the exercises that we worked on in the seminar. Once again, I want to thank North Shore Fit for letting us come in and do our thing, Rebecca with Victory, and I'm Dustin with Deviate Physio. Hopefully you can integrate some of this stuff into your running, see some improvement. Once again, get in touch with any of us if you have more questions, you need help with an injury that's ongoing, or you want to learn more ways that you can improve your running. So look forward to seeing you guys at the next one, and we'll see you soon.